Playing college basketball can basically be a full-time job, and because of that, players often go months without seeing their families. The Mayfield Cardinals were very honest with themselves after last year's state semifinals loss, saying that they got beat in the trenches. As the Murray State Racers get ready to play in this week's NCAA tournament, they're to call San Diego home over the next several days, and because of that, the hotel here in town is trying to make things as comfortable as possible. Regardless of what happens on this field behind me tonight, here at the Independence Bank tailgate, they're going to be pretty happy because of what they are cooking. Let me show you this over here. They got a shrimp boil going on, and you have to take a look at this. It is absolutely wonderful and smells amazing. With the future of PIR up in the air, the locks on these gates will remain, and if that continues, several local drivers could be shutting their doors as well. Following last night's win on social media, I asked Kentucky fans where that win sits, not only for football, but in Kentucky sports history, and here are a few of those answers. Davey Groves said, top 10 in UK sports for me, higher if you're just talking about football. 31 years is a long time. Just ask Kentucky fans. That's because back in 1986, the Wildcats were able to beat the Florida Gators and haven't been able to repeat that since. But last year, the closest they've been. A few major mistakes along the way, though, allowed Florida to pick up a 1-point win in Lexington. Tonight, the Wildcats would travel the Swamp as they would face the 25th-ranked Florida Gators. Now, last week, Kentucky offense, a mixed bag with inconsistent quarterback play. Not the case tonight. First drive of the game, it's Terry Wilson rolling out. Is going to find David Bouvier. 29-yard touchdown strike. Wildcats up 7-0, but turnovers had Florida with a 10-7 halftime lead. In the third, more from Wilson. This time he uses the wheels up the middle. 24-yard touchdown for Terry. Touchdown. Kentucky retakes the 14-10 lead. They would not be done in the quarter. Same score. Wilson loading up to go deep, then hits Lynn Bowden in stride. 54-yard touchdown. Now 21-10. The streak is in jeopardy. Gators cut the lead to 20-16 with seconds left. Felipe Franks hit from behind. He fumbles the ball. It is picked up by Kent Robinson. No one really knew what was going on, if it was a fumble or not, but Robinson picks it up, Stoops telling him to score, and he does. Upon review, it is confirmed, and the streak is over. 27-16, Kentucky is.
It's hard to describe, you know, it's been a long time coming. We played them very well since I've been here, different games, and it's been very, very frustrating. Could not be more happy for our players. They just showed unbelievable character. They've been a joy to work with, and for our fan base that's waited a long, long time for this one.
Well, over 2 decades ago, UT Martin and Middle Tennessee met often on the gridiron, but that was back when the Blue Raiders were members of the FCS. Now with MTSU up a level, Skyhawks trying to pull off the upset on the road. This will be the first meeting between the two schools since 1999. However, Martin's last win in Murfreesboro way back in 1979. First drive of the game for the Skyhawks, and it's a good one. Dresser win to throw and finds Devontae Howard, the 16-yard touchdown strike. UT Martin up 7-0. Then later in the first, MTSU tied the game at 7. Then they would retake the lead. Brent Stockstill to throw to the end zone. It's C.J. Wyndham, his second straight touchdown catch. Blue Raiders led 14-7. The Skyhawks would answer in the second. It's Wynn again, the throw and the laser. Terry Williams, the touchdown. Game tied at 14, but MTSU racked up nearly 500 total yards of offense, and it was all MTSU from there on, 61-37. Skyhawks have their home opener against Chattanooga next Saturday. As for Murray State, they were on the road this afternoon as they would face 17th-ranked Central Arkansas. Threats of severe weather coming through the area. This one, though, would start on time. Second quarter, 13-6 Bears. It's Braylon Smith to throw and finds Lester Wells in the back of the end zone. 25-yard score, 20-6 Arkansas, Central Arkansas. They would have an over an hour delay for rain and lightning moving through the area, but Murray State wasn't faced. Once they resumed play, Racers got on the board. Drew Anderson to the end zone. James Sappington the catch in traffic, down to 20-13, but that's as close as they would get. Central Arkansas holds on to win 26-13. Tyson Asher has spent most of his life on the soccer field, but since being diagnosed with a kidney disease in February, he has had to step away from the game.
Not being out there, especially since it's my senior year, I just wish I could be out there and playing with them.
And he will be the first to tell you that these last 6 months have been rough.
Usually wake up, take a bunch of pills throughout the day. I just try not to think about it too much.
Hell's a good word. Nightmare's another good word. from diagnosis till now has been just 6 months.
But Tyson and his family have had support along the way, and no greater example of that was on display than tonight at St. Paul Lutheran Church.
Truly blessed to have all these people come out and support me, and I'm just grateful to have everybody out here.
Fundraisers like this one are nothing new here at St. Paul's, and when they found out about Tyson's diagnosis, they knew the best way they could help out him and his family was by offering up a simple plate of food.
This was one of our own that we felt needed help. Every bit of the money that we get stays with them.
But this nightmare is almost over, as Asher will receive a new kidney from the person he has leaned on the most, his mom.
It was magical, really. Like, we were just filled with joy knowing that my mom will be able to give me her kidney.
As a mother, you try to protect your children, and I feel like I haven't been able to, and now I'm going to be able to save his life. Yeah, I'm saving my son's life.
And with the finish line in sight, Asher has just one goal in mind, and that's make it back on the soccer field. In Paducah, Adam Wells, WPSD, Local 6 Sports. In the end, it's just cloth and thread, but to Reed Pope, it's much more than that.
Putting that jersey on means something a little special to me.
For the Paducah Chiefs outfielder, that jersey is the same one his grandfather, Richard Throgmorton, wore playing for the Chiefs in the 1950s.
But it's a big thing for me to do something and follow the footsteps of my grandfather.
There were so many stories that Dad shared with us, and then when Reed was given the opportunity, we've just been so excited about it.
Despite passing away months before the Chiefs played their first game last season, Throgmorton's impact on his former team can easily be seen.
My mother knew that she had the uniform in her closet, and she wanted to do something with it in honor of him.
The jersey was given to Chiefs general manager Greg McKeel, who used it as a template, copying everything down to the last stitch for the jerseys that the Chiefs use now.
So this is the jersey that he would show us whenever we'd all go over to his house. He'd show all my cousins and my brother and sister, and I actually haven't got to see it in quite some time, so it's pretty neat getting to see it.
It just couldn't be a more prouder moment to think about him playing and wearing something that his grandfather was part of.
And although he isn't here to see his grandson play, the Popes know Throgmorton is close by.
His grandmother, she's probably one of the loudest fans here, and I think the reason why she is because she's yelling for not only her grandson, but she's also throwing a cheer in for my dad.
It makes me feel like my grandfather's right there with me. Whenever I put on that jersey, he's there.
Which is why every time he steps on the field, wearing a simple jersey means something more to Pope. In Paducah, Adam Wells, WPSD, Local 6 Sports.